So you want to learn banjo but get fudged up in the details? You want to shred with the boys but find your solos coming up short? You want to achieve ultimate banjo liberation but don't even know the Foggy Mountain secret? Well, I've got the trick for you.
Join my Patreon.
They say in order to learn banjo, first you learn scrug style, then you learn melodic style, and then you learn single string. And that's all well and good if you're a noob. Really where it's at is combining scrug style and single string to create the banjo technique that Earl doesn't want you to know about. So, you see, Earl Scruggs' definitive book on how to learn the banjo had a chapter intentionally removed by the 6-string agenda that contained one thing and one thing only. That one thing is not only the secret to immortality, it's not only the secret to banjo liberation, but it's the Foggy.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you breaking news. The CIA has confirmed the arrest of several members of the 6-string agenda. You may recall it's the same organization that has been very outspoken about banjo suppression. It's reportedly made of what some consider to be the global elite. And its mission? Stop human ascension. Authorities say there is one way to stop them. You can be sure to smack that like button, leave a comment, and hit subscribe for more fly banjo content. Sup?
Yo, what's up? Really, this whole video is going to be on diatonic double stops up and down the neck, played with reductions of the Foggy Mountain breakdown roll that render the banjo hella utile in all sorts of musical situations. Sup? This video is divided into two parts. The first part, which will be an explanation of the exercise, and the second part, which will be the exercise itself. So whip out your banjos, strap them on tight, and let's get started. Today we're going to learn 2 sets of diatonic double stops and learn how to play each of these sets up and down the neck in both simple scales and then in thirds. We will do each of these scales with 3 variations of the Foggy Mountain breakdown roll, which we'll get to with reductions. First, let me explain the harmonic concepts behind this exercise. Today we'll be learning 2 sets of diatonic double stops. Diatonic means of the scale, and today we'll be playing around with a G scale. A double stop is a 2-note chord. So in this context, diatonic double stops are 2-note chord scales that we'll be playing up and down the neck. The first set of diatonic double stops that we're going to learn today are on the 1st and 2nd strings. The second set of diatonic double stops that we're going to learn today are on the 1st and 3rd strings. To find out where we put our fingers for the first set, we're going to start with the open 1st and 2nd strings and move each note up a single scale degree. Basically, we're learning all the notes in the key of G on the 1st and 2nd strings in clever little 2-note voicings affectionately referred to as diatonic double stops. To find out where we put our fingers for the next set, first we're going to start with the 2nd fret of the 1st string and the open 3rd string. And once again, we're going to move each note up a single scale degree until we get all the way to the top of the neck. Now, essentially what we've learned is where all the notes in the key of G are on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. The next harmonic concept that I'd like to introduce is the concept of intervals, and not just any interval, but the specific interval of the 3rd, which has the magic quality to turn any chord into either a happy camper or a sad panda. If we take the first set of diatonic double stops, and call this 1, call this 2, and call this 3. Skipping from 1 to 3 is known as a 3rd. Skipping from 2 to 4 is also known as a 3rd, as is skipping from 3 to 5. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're called intervals because they relate notes by the intervals between them. Thirds are the foundation of not only chords, but arpeggios and delightful melodies. But forget that. The next step in the Foggy Mountain secret is that we're going to play thirds with both sets of the double stops from the bottom of the neck all the way to the top of the neck and back down, paving your way to ascension through Banjo Liberty. So, the thirds are basically going to sound something like this. But we'll be doing rolls all the way up and all the way back down. Okay, now that we've talked about the whole harmonic aspect of this deal, let's turn our attention to the secret of the universe, rhythm in the form of banjo rolls. Hell yeah. The foundation of this exercise is the 8-note Foggy Mountain breakdown roll. I like to break down this 8-note roll into 2 4-note rolls. The first 4-note roll is 1, 2, thumb 2. 1, 2, thumb 2 is a type of alternate middle roll because your middle finger alternates every other note. The trick to this roll is that both your index and your thumb go to the second string. For the second set of double stops, your index and your thumb will both go to the third string. The next 4-note roll is a thumb 1, 2, thumb, which is a 4-note forward roll that begins on the thumb, which I affectionately refer to as a thumb forward roll. This one starts and ends on the 5th string. In the first set, it'll be this, and in the second set, it'll be this. So total, the first set will be this roll, and the second set will be this roll. Now that we have an understanding of the 8-note Foggy Mountain breakdown roll, let's make some variations. For the first exercise, we're going to shift double stops after a double Foggy Mountain breakdown roll. That'll sound like this. You get it. We're going to be going all the way up the neck and all the way back down with that 16-note roll, a double Foggy Mountain breakdown roll. Next, we're going to shift double stops after a single 8-note Foggy Mountain breakdown roll, which will sound like this. All the way up the neck and all the way back down. Last, we're going to shift after half a Foggy Mountain breakdown roll, which will sound like this. Starting from the bottom and going all the way up and all the way back down. The 8-note roll is going to be the same, but we're shift after 4 notes. So there aren't too many rules to banjo playing, but one of them is to shift on open strings as often as you can. In all 3 variations of this Foggy Mountain breakdown rhythmic reduction, we shift on open strings, so it's Ricky Meyer approved. The rhythmic idea just talked about here is called a reduction. First, we shift after 2 Foggy Mountain breakdown rolls, then we shift after 1 Foggy Mountain breakdown roll, then we shift after half a Foggy Mountain breakdown roll.
Hella easy, dude.
The next part of this exercise is that we're going to be doing the same rhythmic reductions except in thirds with both sets of diatonic double stops. The first will sound like this. The next one will sound like this. And finally, the last reduction will sound like this. From the bottom of the neck all the way to the top and all the way back down. At that point, we'll be halfway through the exercise. And then we do the same thing except on the first and third strings. So the first exercise will sound like this. The next one will sound like this. And the last one will sound like this. from the bottom of the neck all the way top and all the way back down. I put the tempo at 80 beats per minute, so it's not going to be too fast, but hopefully it'll be attainable for you in a relaxed way. The purpose of this video is a banjo self-hypnosis, so you can put yourself in the state of just rolling and sounding good. To be honest, this lesson should be the first one for anybody who wants to make their way to Banjo Liberty. Join my Patreon, get the tab. Okay, here we go. With the double Foggy Mountain breakdown roll on the double stops in G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double stop scales. 1, 2, 3, double stop scales with a reduction. 3, 4. Here come the diatonic double stop thirds with 2 Foggy Mountain breakdown rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4. introduction and do the thirds again. 3, 4. Now we're going to move on to the second set of strings and do the scales. 3, 4. Reduce the scales. 3, 4. Okay, here comes thirds with double stops on the first and third strings with a double Foggy Mountain breakdown roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. the third.